All right, good morning. It's your man Ace. I'm in the building, and let's go ahead and dive right into it. So let me share my screen so we can jump into today's pre-market prep. And then, as always, first thing I'm going to do is do a quick recap of any trades that I took the previous day, and then I'll talk about the psychology, what I was thinking, what I did, whether I won a trade or lost a trade. And then, secondly, we'll talk about any news that could be potentially impacting today's market session in the pre-market prep, as well as what I expect to happen, or any news that I expect to impact the market once it opens. All right. Excuse me. After that, we'll talk about where Tesla is currently, where it closed yesterday, and what it's at today in the pre-market prep. And then lastly, I'll talk about my strategy coming into today's market session. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Just a quick note for those of you on Instagram and TikTok. If, excuse me, man, those of you on Instagram and TikTok, feel free to, uh, oh, excuse me, those of you on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, feel free to leave any questions in the comment section, or you can direct message me, and I'll be sure to answer your questions as quickly as possible. If I don't get to those questions during today's live session, I'll definitely get to those sessions quickly as possible before the day ends. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Give me a moment to share my screen for those of you on YouTube. Just one moment. Share screen. Boom. Okay, cool. All right, so real quick, like I said, first thing I'm going to do is do a real quick trading recap on what I did yesterday. All right, so yesterday, for those of you, let me kind of change up the view for those of you on TikTok. All right, so let's zoom in here. All right, so yesterday I made a little over $500 after fees. The total net gain was $473. This was trading Palantir. Obviously, I focused primarily on Tesla, but Tesla didn't do anything yesterday. So I went to my secondary options, and I looked at CoreWeave and Palantir. And like I said, made a couple of $100 yesterday. So this month so far, I am up over $2,500. So 2.5K, and doing well so far. As I told you guys before, last month I did well over 5,000, and I am a new day trader. So don't let people tell you that you cannot make money immediately. All right, you just have to find the right mentors that can help guide you, as I did. All right, so all right, what did I after after making this trade? Palantir just took off. Okay, I could have left running contracts to secure more profit, but for me yesterday, I just wanted to relax my mind and just exit the trade after I hit my target goal. All right, so cool. So let's go ahead and take a look at what Tesla's doing today in the pre-market prep session. And if I take any trades, same thing. I'll talk about it a little bit later in the week, or I'll talk about it in tomorrow's pre-market prep. All right. So so far this month is looking very, very lovely. All right, getting that bag. Okay, so what is Tesla doing today? Yesterday we closed at 316 and change. We were up about 1%, a little over 1%. Like I said, we didn't do too much. Tesla, for the most part, just kind of consolidated for the day. So I just left it alone. But coming into today in the pre-market, we're up 0.22%, 22%. So let's take a look at any news that could potentially impact today's market session. All right. So the first thing we look at is any orange and red folder news. This type of news is scheduled news, so we can rely on this news, but there's also news that can impact the market that's unscheduled. For example, Elon could tweet or Trump could tweet anything about the tariffs or about Elon forming a new political party, all of which could impact the market, is why we take a look at the news in the pre-market before the market opens to see if it has any negative or positive impact on the market. Now, for us who are day trading stock options, it doesn't matter which way the market goes, we make money either way. So we can make money in either direction, whether the market goes up or goes down. We can make money in either direction. So it doesn't matter for us, but we do want to be prepared um, for when we conduct our technical analysis to see which way the market is trending. All right. So today, coming into today, it looks like we got quite a few red folder news that's going to break at 7:30. Okay, as you can see here, let me zoom in for those of you on TikTok. So we have quite a bit of red folder news dropping at 7:30. Some orange folder news as well. So at 7:30, which is in about another 20 minutes, we'll take a look and see how that impacts if it has any impact on the market. All right. And let's see. It looks like we only have red folder news coming in at 3 p.m. So that's when the market, for those of us on Central Standard Time, that's when the market closed. So um, we'll take a look at that only if we're in any type of overnight trades, right, for tomorrow. So now that we've wrapped that up, let's take a look at any news, current news that could potentially impact Tesla specifically. And what we'll do is after that, I'll talk about my strategy coming into the market open today. So let's see here. Let me do a quick check. Zoom in for those of you on Instagram and TikTok. All right, so let's see here. Tesla inches its India strategy out of the garage. All right, cool. So that looks good. Tesla stock rises, showing EV sales set up testing year for Musk. Tesla Indian debut in bid to revive slowing sales. So we'll take a look and see. I, Most of this kind of news is already kind of baked in. No, but I'm looking for something significant that I believe could cause Tesla to either go up in price or down in price. So Tesla debuts. I'm just going to do a quick skim. I'm not going to read these in detail. Let's see. Visibility restricted. I don't know what this notification on TikTok is saying. I'm redirecting people off TikTok. No, I'm not. Let's see. Tesla exec says we'll begin India sales with redesigned Model Y. Let's take a look and see when, if they provided a date. This might be important. Let's see. Any days with 16 superchargers. First step. We'll start. All right. So I don't see a date on this. So we'll just kind of keep a note on that for now. 7 hours ago, Tesla set to sell Model Y cars starting at 69. And let's see if this provides a date. If it's a date, then we'll definitely take a look at that because it probably won't have any impact until the day after. So let's see, Model Y cars starting at 6 million rupees. A price catalog on his website showed on Tuesday, which is today. Da, 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 da. So I don't see a date. So far, I don't see anything that is significant that's going to move the market. So let's take a look at Tesla specifically and see where it is currently. All right, let me bring up the chart. All right, Tesla. Let's see. Go to the 15-minute. All right. So let's zoom in here. Give me a second. All right. So coming until today, let me make sure you guys on TikTok can see this clearly. Zoom in. Jeez. Bear with me, guys. Okay. I think that should be good for you guys on TikTok. All right. So coming into today, you can see yesterday we didn't do too much. Um, we started out heavy and just consolidated for the day. We didn't make a new high and we didn't make a new low. We just stayed in this range. So you can pretty much just box this in. This was the previous day high, which is good news. In terms of it looks like buyers are still liquidity is resting at this pricing zone and want to keep the stock above the previous day high. So coming into the pre-market session, we can see buyers are stepping in, and it looks like we're still trending up. So that's good. That's a good sign. So we'll see coming into today. Here's what I'll be looking for. Now, in my pre-market prep, what I like to discuss is, first of all, marking out several key levels, just simple key levels that I can check the reaction uh, so I could check the reaction for whether the stock is going to continue to trend up or trend down. Okay, very simple. Now, what are those key levels? The typical key levels that I use is the pre-market high and pre-market low, which are these two lines here. And then we look at the previous day low and the previous day high. And if I pull this down just a little bit, that's indicated by this red line here and this green line here. And beyond that, the third thing is we wait for the first 5 minutes or first 15 minutes to check to see which direction the market wants to trend. So you can use either of these three. You can use the pre-market high or pre-market low. That's number one. Or number two, you can use the previous day high and previous day low. Or number three, you can wait for the first 5 minutes or first 15 minutes and wait for a breakout and retest above or below either of those key levels. Now, that's the strategy that I use. It's a simple strategy. It's called the breakout and retest strategy. And I'm going to use this, the pre-market high and low, as an example, because as you can see here, where the stock is currently, we're closer to the pre-market high and we're within range, right? Within the pre-market high and the pre-market low. So typically what we look for is the reaction off of these key levels. All right. We're going to check to see what's the reaction off of these key levels. Are buyers stepping in aggressively to push the price up, or are sellers stepping in aggressively to push the price down? All right. So coming into today in the market open, what I'd be checking for is number one, if buyers step in aggressively and push the price up above the pre-market high, then what I'd be checking for is a retest to this level to see if buyers will hold this level and step in aggressively and continue to push the price up for continuation toward the upside, toward the pre-market high. The other thing that could happen is we could in the market open, we could again see some consolidation and reject off the pre-market high, and sellers step in aggressively to push the price lower. Again, what we'd be looking for is the same thing, but in reverse. We'd be waiting for a retest back to this key level to see if sellers will hold this key level and step in aggressively to push the price lower towards the pre-market low. Okay. Either way, if we have a retest um, after a breakout above the pre-market high, if buyers step in aggressively, then we step into our position toward the upside. If sellers step in aggressively and push the price lower, and we have a retest to the pre-market high, and it's now serving as resistance, and sellers want to hold that and step in aggressively to push the price lower, then we'll step in and enter our position toward the downside. This is what I'm telling you guys is a simple strategy. Anyone can see the chart. Anyone can read this chart and see that it doesn't take a lot to read the chart to see which direction the market is trending and which direction to enter your trade in. So this is the simple aspect of day trading, stock options. Okay. Now, here's the reason why traders fail. All right. It's because mentally they lack self control, discipline, patience, and they have poor money management skills. And oftentimes, many traders will jump into trades that they should not have jumped into. They don't understand the market, which direction the market is trending, and they get caught up in uh, things like, oh, I believe this stock is going to go higher or lower without any technical analysis to back up or support their thesis. All right. This is not a guessing game. This is not gambling. The market is very simple. It repeats patterns. Okay. Every single day, there's a pattern that is presented. And there are several strategies that you can utilize that matches the patterns that are presented. Based on the pattern that you, or excuse me, the strategy that you chose, you wait for the market to present the pattern that matches your strategy. That's it. And once you do that, once the setup is presented, you can enter the trade at that point. Once you enter the trade, or excuse me, before or prior to entering that trade, you've already determined what your exit goal is in terms of what your target profit is and when you will get out of the trade if the trade begins to work against you. Okay. So it's very simple. All right. So coming into today, like I said, I'll be checking the reaction off of these key levels, the pre market high and low, based on where the stock is currently, as we can see here. Um, right now, we're kind of maintaining this level here. And like I said, once the market opens, I'll be looking to check the reaction off of these two key levels. Um, as I mentioned, it's very simple. So if the buyers step in aggressively and push the stock higher, great. What we'll be waiting for, as a recap, is a retest back to this level to see if this level will hold as support. If buyers hold this key level and step in aggressively to push the price higher and towards the upside, toward the previous day high, great. We enter our position and take the trade. Okay. Same thing if buyers don't step in, we check the reaction off of this level. If sellers step in aggressively and we reject off of this key level, which is the pre-market high, and sellers push the price lower, then same thing. We'll be waiting for a retest back to this level to show that we are now using this key level, the pre-market high, as resistance. And if sellers hold this key level, step in aggressively and to push the price lower toward the previous, or excuse me, the pre-market low. Again, we'll enter our trade here and towards for position towards the downside. Simple as that. Now, the other things that could happen is we could start out very heavy right out the open, and sellers stepping in, pushing the price lower towards the previous day low. So we'll just have to check the reaction off of these key levels here, if that's the case. All right, so we have the pre-market high, pre-market low, and the previous day low. And again, all it is just simple rinse and repeat. We check the reaction off of a specific key level, and we check to see if that level is held by either the buyers or sellers, depending on which direction. And we wait for a retest back to that key level, and we check to see if buyers or sellers, depending on which direction, we check to see if either buyers or sellers step in aggressively to push the price either lower or higher. And that's when we look to take our trade. So pretty simple. Again, simple breakout and retest strategy. This is what I've been learning from my mentor. And as I've noted earlier uh, today in this pre-market prep, as well as previous sessions, I've been doing well as a new day trader. Currently, I'm approaching 7,000 since April, and I've only been day trading. Uh, as I said, I'm a new day trader, and I've only been day trading uh, since April of this year. Okay, found two great mentors, and I trade live with one of my mentors who focus specifically on Tesla or I'll say the majority of the time. So he trades live every single day. And like I mentioned, I will go live with him for you guys on Friday, every Friday. Um, I'll try to do it. I'll see how that works. And then I might add more days if it's not a distraction for me during my trading session. All right. So that's it for today's session. I'm going to drop the mic right here. If you guys have any questions, those of you on TikTok and those of you on Instagram and YouTube, just feel free to comment, leave your comment in the comment section, or you can direct message me, and I'll be sure to answer your questions as quickly as possible. All right. So, man, Ace, I'm dropping the mic right here. I'm out.